Alright, so stick around. So this is a customer of mine's, blah by STI. It's a IAG, I think stage 3 closed deck setup. It's got a blouch 5.0 Dominator on it. And unfortunately, he's been running the Dominator a little bit too hard, and the bearings are going out. You can hear the whine of it. So the only correct way to do it is upgrade the turbo and like I guess you can say downsize it. No, that'd be a wrong way to say it. Oversize the turbo so we can run it more efficiently, because this one is ran to the absolute gills. So what we're gonna do is work on doing a rotated setup and flex fuel sensor and a couple other things that we've been kind of putting off. And yeah, then we'll gonna get it tuned, and hopefully it makes about the same. So I just realized I'm gonna have to do a little bit more than I thought. They have the inlet coming over here to the engine. This is the outlet for the turbo. I thought it was the other way. That would have made life a lot easier. So now I'm gonna have to refabricate pretty much this whole pipe. Yeah, turbo will enter in there. It'll flow this way this time. So yeah, is what it is. What we're gonna do now is I'm just gonna work on just getting the intake off and hopefully the turbo. So let's follow along. Well, getting the intake manifold off was a little bit more of a pain in the ass than I was hoping. There's just a lot of stuff that was tied in, and the catch can setup wasn't really that well thought out. But it's off. You know, we're making progress. I'm gonna get the turbo off next and hopefully start like sizing up what we got to deal with. So stay tuned. Well, there's the noise, all right. It's got a pretty fair amount of play considering, but like I said, ran hard, put away wet, so it is what it is. Let's take it off. That wasn't super ideal, as you saw. I had to cut the downpipe off. It's one of those big 4-inch ones, so I couldn't get to that bottom bolt. And I'm gonna have to modify the downpipe anyway, so might as well just cut it, make my life easier, save some labor. But yeah, so now we just got the couple bolts on top and hopefully she comes up. All right, so it's the next day here. We got the old turbo off and everything, so here's the 6266 Gen 2. I'm gonna work on getting it at least in place. Yeah, that's my goal for today, is if I can get the turbo at least mocked up in place, we can start planning out the other stuff, make sure everything fits, and we'll go from there. So come along, I gotta go to my house and do some fabricating out there, because we gotta cut a flange off, drill a hole, some stuff like that, but yeah. Yeah, so about 2 years ago, I started making a manifold for Dusty. Needed some tweaks for it to fit quite right, but since then he's decided that he's going precision rotated, which is more like a stock style up pipe. So I'm gonna cut this flange off for the rotated setup I'm doing and go from there. All right, there she is. Now I just gotta go up to the mill, make that hole bigger, and start fitting it up. Well, I've never really had good light down here, so I finally got some stuff to hang one of my big LEDs. So I'm gonna do that real quick so I can actually, see what I'm working on. Yeah. All right, well, we've got it all chucked up in here. So I think it's time to start cutting. So I'm gonna just kind of slowly work the quill down here at a slow speed with a lot of lube, and hopefully it all works out. Cross the fingers. Well, unfortunately, this hole saw isn't quite up to the task of cutting through the stainless, so I'm just gonna probably have to order a flange, is what it is. Yeah, so I just had an idea. If I use an end mill to cut the hole, that'll probably work, and I know it'll cut the material because I've done it before. It doesn't need to be perfectly round because the tube's gonna sit in it. I'm gonna weld it, so let's try that. All right, well, it's not the prettiest hole, but it'll work. Never claimed to be a machinist or anything, but, I'll give it to myself. So let's go back to the shop and start cutting some stuff and getting this to fit. well, it's kind of mocked up in position. So what you can see is I just used that flange and adapted it. It's not ideal. Normally I'd probably remake the whole up pipe, but I'm trying to save him money and everything. So let's go from there. And yeah, I'm gonna plop the intake manifold on and make sure that clears. And if that clears, I'm pretty happy with the placement and everything. So let's try that out. All right, so I remade it real quick. Clears everything. It's a little tight on these brake lines over here. So I'm probably gonna make a little heat shield so that those don't get boiled. Reroute some wiring, but nice straight shot to the pipe there. Downpipe's gonna be a little tight, but that's not the end of the world. I'll just probably do some pie cuts off here to make sure we get this transition and then shoot it down that hole. Lots of room down here, obviously. That might be all for today's video. I will see when I'm done editing. If the video goes longer than this, then cool. If not, we'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.